You're regaining your sensors, discovering your environment, and switching between the physical and the spiritual world to uncover how you wound up in a forgotten, terrible place. And who are the others? Can you find all 4 endings? You compelled me already with 4 endings. Space to change form, click to interact, Y is that to move. Space. Space is not doing anything, and it looks like your character is invisible, so that's good to know. I'm not sure how this use function is there, and I think the character being invisible is not intentional. Let's take a look at the screenshots here. Yeah, it's definitely not meant to be intentional. There's supposed to be something there, and I don't see it. Alright. This is not gonna be useful if I can't even see my own character. Oh, there we go. That's much more like it. Is that a switch? Can I push these blocks? Are there block puzzles? There are no block puzzles. I was lied to. Oh, mouse click to interact. I guess not. I guess backtracking is the name of the game here. Backtrack. But before I do that, I must discover the forward track. Hmm. Oh. There's some weird colliders issues that I might be able to... I took advantage of it! Oh no, I'm stuck! Welp, that happened. Maybe next year we'll have an engine working on the low-end machines. Slightly back FPS. The main character Wisp isn't being rendered properly. It's okay, most of the gameplay should be unaffected. You can still play it though, no worries. You're taking requests. You won't be able to see Wisp but yourself and the other ground stuff isn't rendered properly. Sorry, physics are a little borked. Oh, hey, I see a trail. That's important. Oh, there's more to the right. I like this shader effect that you have here that kind of zaps between the little static. I feel like these two worlds has been done before. I have arms. Can I interact with these? Oh, I can. It's strange that you have to have your mouse up to interact. Good to know that mini Attack of the Titans is gonna be a true thing here. And repetitive sound effects, that's always good to see. Can I interact with a chair? Can I interact with a table? Can I interact with a wall? Apparently not. The interact was a little cryptic. I would have liked it if, like, you know, that power-up was right next to a switch. At least that way I would have had the logical extension to think, oh, that's a switch or lever, and then I'll need to interact with that. Also, if the lever was in the side profile view instead of front back, that would be a bit nice. Side view, not side profile view. Because, you know, a lever in a side view is visually obvious. Puzzles! And thinking. Okay. Oh, I figured it out on my own. What's the reason for being a wisp at all? Well, at least the music is daunting in a good way. I'm hearing some... Oh. Aha. I don't understand the whole wisp idea here. Probably I'm gonna find out, and it's gonna have to do with stealth mechanics. There's something compelling about the sound effects I'm really liking here. It's mysterious, it's like very unsettling, very Silent Hill-ish. And the the hilariously muddy graphics, the one that kind of reminds me of, you know, the PS1 eras, is really pleasing and kind of funny in a way to me to see. Nostalgic, if anything. Well, that was creepy. Ha. Huh. I'm collecting power-ups that I don't know what they do. Oh, I have legs. Oh! This is different. I have legs. I get it now. Alright, this is a logical extension from the previous, Alright, yeah, this I like better. We got puzzle solving, and I actually understand what's going on, and now I'm gonna backtrack all the way from the beginning because there were switches. Okay, so basically you're collecting, the power-ups are collecting more flesh, huh? And reconstructing your character. Man, now I'm feeling a lot like Jamie right now. Remember, or Jamie, Dream Logician right now. Remember how earlier he was talking about, like, with Splitter Critters, that was like a better game than... It was like exactly his idea, except made better, and he's like all sorts of jealous with that. Or, I mean, he was really impressed, mind you. I jokingly say jealous. I'm sure he doesn't think too strongly about it. But anyways, what I meant to say was, like, this is also... I'm having that moment right now where this is like almost a game idea I had at one point. Not quite the same. I had a completely different... Not completely different. I had a slightly different idea in mind, but I do like this whole, like, reconstructing the human body aspect of things. Was there a switch here? Because I thought there was. Alright, those switches did absolutely nothing. Those cages needed saving, and I couldn't help them. These blocks do nothing. Unless I'm missing something and you can actually push them around. I guess not. No, no, no. Nya 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 la 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 do 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 do. Yeah, sorry, I'm... As much as, like, I don't particularly like backtracking per se, I'm very detail oriented, so I have to figure out if I missed anything by accident or not. Seems like it's just safer to be incorporeal body for the start and just kind of survey the environment. Oh. You have achieved nothing noteworthy. Alright. We got ending number 4. Oh, I must have skipped it. Maybe I should just speedrun this. I mean, I guess, like, if somebody was trying to... If you're trying to kind of go for the mood here, this would be a good way of doing it. But... I'm kind of wanting to see... Like... Kind of wondering if there were any more beyond this. because, you know, I had an epiphany that it was about, you know, reconstructing your body, and I think like that's good and all. Oh. Okay, apparently that did not do what I thought it would do. Well, Attack of the Titans. Me. The humans still despise you despite your smaller size. You've killed too many people. Uh-oh, looks like one of the arms is a little screwed up. Yeah, Wind, you can surprise me as much as you want. It's probably just background music too, isn't it? Looks like I got another ending. Looks like I did not. How do you get the other endings then? Well. Alright, so I tried not saving anything. Nope, still the same ending. Man, why do I keep expecting anything different? I could use a hint. You tried not saving, but you still killed wisps. So, killed some, left stuff alone, mixed. Huh, okay, so there apparently are ways to rescue wisps, which I couldn't figure out earlier. Oh. So the audio itself is quite honestly the best part of this game. Because I'm missing information here, there's a lot of parts that kind of leaves a lot for me to be desired. Again, largely because it seems like I'm missing some graphical elements that could really help. Such as wisps in this case. Oh, that's a killed wisp thing, huh? So I'm not supposed to collect that. Well, that went about as well as I planned. I apparently killed something by accident. Man, the fact that the wisp does not graphically show up means it's going to be so hard for me to get all the other endings. I like bump into things and I'm hearing sound effects for it, but I can't actually see them. Yeah, the fact that I can't see the wisp is making it really hard for me to play this game what seems like properly. There was the aforementioned jail cells that apparently I did not save. I don't understand how I'm supposed to save these jail cells though. There doesn't seem to be an immediately obvious way for me to do that. Well, I feel like the character's shapeshifting is just a narrative excuse, which, to be fair, is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's not like a particular theme used as an inspiration for the gameplay, more like for its story. Honestly, I feel like the fact that I'm having a borked graphics engine like I always seem to do whenever I play your games, is my main reason for not quite getting more than I really would have liked for this game that I'm feeling right now. And I mean, like, I can't really fault that on you for technical problems that I can't deal. Different machines have different specs, so I really can't like blame anyone very specifically. But at the same time, I do feel like one, I'm having a slightly borked experience, and I'm really concerned about that. Because, like, I'm trying to search for all 4 endings, because at least you told me there are some. And I'd like to know what they are, but at this point, I don't know if it's because of the graphics, there was the whole Wisp rescuing thing. I'm still trying to figure out how to open those other 2 jail cells. I don't know how I'm supposed to do that. Hi, Kane Dragoon. Sorry, Kane Dragoon is one of our friends, so I just had to make a special mention. I'm flicking every switch there is, checking it twice, making sure it's naughty or nice. But despite the fact that I came to town, nothing is happening. I'm checking everything twice just in case I missed anything. But at this point, I think I'm gonna call it. Yeah, if I really can't discern any pattern at this point, then I'm just gonna call it quits and start rating the game. Unless I'm missing a switch, like a step-on switch. Doesn't look like it. I'm hearing sound effect that tells me I'm doing something. Either that or wisps are bumping into me. I feel like wisps are just bumping into me at this rate. Yeah, forget it. I'm calling it quits. I give up. The other endings are not for my computer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Attack the Titans Giant. You're just not meant to be. Someday, however, you'll grow just as large and eventually be able to swallow humans whole. So just believe in yourself. Yep, leave. Okay. Well, let's start off with innovation here. There's nothing really for me to talk innovative of. I do like the whole, the character slowly turning into its bigger form, but then again, there's like a second world that I'm not quite grasping for some reason. Again, chances are very good it's because my graphics card is borked and it's just not revealing the important information. So I'm guessing that's probably the reason. Didn't think it was quite fun. Don't think if that was intentional either, so I can think of worse, more vile games. But yeah, I didn't quite think that was what was going on here. I did like the whole reconstructing yourself as a form of a theme, and I don't know. Personally, like I kind of like that interpretation of it's a game about slowly reconstructing your corporeal self eventually, and I do like the fact that there's arms and legs and that kind of stuff, and it's really interesting that you have that in there. But yeah, to me, it's not exactly what I'd say is an impressive interpretation of the theme. I'm thinking more like, I don't remember how I rated it earlier, but, cutting critters or whatever, I really liked the interpretation of that, and it's really good. Graphics. I'm a little torn on this. The textures is really muddy, and for me, it's kind of hard to discern certain things. But it's not exactly bad graphics either, because there's a good reason why horror games during that era was well remembered, and a lot of I like to believe was because of the graphical limitations. There was a certain inherentness of ambiguity behind it, and I feel like that was certainly part of the intent using the current graphic system that you have here. But at the same time, like, I'm not exactly sold on it. To be fair, I'm making comparisons to game like, say, Until Dawn, which has really, really, really insane graphics that barely, barely clips over the uncanny valley. But I'm a little torn on this. Stylistically speaking, I think it's solid, so I'll give it a 4-star for that. I thought the audio was really good. The audio was absolutely spot on, and I do like the fact that the background music. There was a point where like I could not discern what was a background music and what was a sound effect, and I do consider that a very high mark to it, because like background music is always repetitive and whatnot, right? But if you make that like even less predictable than it is, to me that's impressive, and I find that really cool. Mood. There's a weird to me there's a weird moment with the game. I obviously gave it 4 stars. The ending seems really judgmental, and at the same time it's just a single text that pops up, so I'm like, was there supposed to be like a story behind this? Maybe I'm missing something, or it just kind of put me out of the game. It just kind of made me rethink of what was meant to be there, instead of this single text that just says, "Hey, you did this. It's not particularly just interesting, but you did it, kind of thing. So to me, I feel like it just fell short of that mark. Um, it feels like there was like just one more thing that was intended to be in the game, and it just didn't make it. And to me, that's a little concerning. I understand it's, the old if this is a jam entry, yes it is, and I don't need your notification, thank you. Like, you know, I understand that you only had a short amount of time. I mean, I myself only had a short amount of time being pulled all over the place with the Unity VR stuff. But, like, you know, I guess I kind of noticed that detail. Maybe that's just me. And in some ways, I'm a little disappointed. But in other ways, I'm sympathetic and understand what may have been going on. I can only guess, obviously, of what actually happened. So that's what I'm feeling like right now. If you free all Wisp, you'll get a slightly off ending with not just text, but nothing detailed either, just nice things graphically. And yeah, you can hide stuff with fog, but we didn't do that smartly. Our walls are pretty high quality. Um, this is going to sound weird. As much as I thought, I gave tall grades to graphics, audio, and mood, to me, this is like a 3-star experience, only because I feel like it had a very specific intent, a very specific mood, atmosphere, and those parts were really well implemented. But it didn't feel as from a gameplay perspective, cohesive. Um, you know, because if I grinded down the gameplay to what it was essentially, it's a couple of hit the right switches, make sure you have hit the right switches, collect a lot of stuff, and then make it to the end. And that is like I forgive you for using that mechanic. I use it all the time myself, but at the same time, that mechanic doesn't say a whole lot about what experience or what the narrative is, what you're doing here, and why you're doing the things that you're doing. Um, it's awfully reliant on audio and graphics to kind of lift its narrative story that it wanted to tell. But to me, like, that is techniques reserved for, say, movies or, acts, plays, even comic books. But it doesn't feel like that's taking what games do well and taking advantage of that. Um, I guess, like, so I'm trying to kind of think of a good way of kind of presenting this. Again, this may just be because I have a Bork graphics card, and that's the reason why I'm not seeing enough details as it is. But one thing that would really help, like the atmosphere kind of thing, is I'm almost imagining this as if you have these two universes, and I thought like that was a spectacular opportunity for stealth, which as far as I can tell, there was none. But it would have been like that would have been a really interesting way to um, present the game, because with the corporeal body, you're indicating that you're making progress throughout the game, but consequently in doing so, you're making yourself more vulnerable, as an example, and your wisp form basically allows you to dodge a lot of bad things. Like at that point, now you're giving me some sort of narrative. You're saying that the body is vulnerable in some way, even though you're reconstructing it, and at times you have to kind of go back to the incorporeal world to progress through the game. And to me, like that would be at least interesting narrative and gameplay integration. So I admit that part I was slightly disappointed with, but let's get to the comment. The audio design was really good, and the graphics remind me of the older horror games that left the player with a lot of creepy imaginations. I also really liked the part where you were reconstructing a humanoid body. I did, however, think the game did not have a good mechanic to story integration. Mechanically, it feels like a collect-em-all. With some occasional puzzles. Mechanically, it felt like a collect-em-all with some occasional switches. This doesn't quite fit with the dark, oppressive society. Universe you've created. And a single text ending really pulls you out of the game. Feel like that can be worked on a little more.